Hi everyone, Melissa here. In today's video, I want to talk about how to manifest in a time crunch. So if you're trying to manifest something by a certain day, within a certain time frame, I think this video will really help you. So the first thing I want to start off by saying is manifesting in a time crunch is no different than manifesting absolutely anything else. The thing you want to figure out is, what story are you telling yourself about your desire? What are you telling yourself all day long through your inner conversations? What mental diet do you have going on about your desire? Are you wanting to have it show up by a certain day, but then thinking, oh, I can't have it because of this, and this? If you are, those are going to block you from getting it when you want it. Okay, so to give an example of how it works to manifest in the time crunch, I ordered some furniture and it was going to be arriving in some really big, heavy boxes. And I was going to be going out of town. So I scheduled the delivery for the day before I was going to be leaving. It was going to be perfect because then I could be there to help bring the boxes in and get it set up, right? So everything was going great. I checked the tracking number and the furniture was still supposed to arrive on the day that it said. And then later that day, I got a message saying that the delivery was going to be delayed, which was going to be a problem because it was going to be delayed by a couple days. And by that point, I would be out of town and there would be no one to bring in those heavy boxes. So in that moment, I could have decided, oh, great, now I'm not going to get what I want. My boxes are going to sit outside. Maybe somebody will take them, or maybe, they'll get ruined by weather. Nothing's working out. However, instead, I just stuck to my story. I persisted in my wanted story, my wanted outcome, which was, you know what? It doesn't matter. I know it's all going to arrive on time. In fact, it's going to arrive this morning and I'm not going to have to worry about it. Everything's going to work out perfectly. I'm getting my boxes when they're supposed to be here. They're coming this morning. I stuck firm to that. I decreed it within myself. I didn't deviate from it. I didn't even try to even think of any reason why it was not going to happen. I only decreed it. I demanded it. You know what? It's done. It's coming today. It's coming this morning. I don't care. I don't care what that email says. This is what's happening now. So something shows up as a perceived obstacle. You must persist in your new story and say, okay, thanks, but no thanks. This is what's true instead. This is what's happening instead. So I stuck to my new story and I went on about my day. I didn't constantly check the tracking number. I wasn't even worried about it. I was doing something totally different. And wouldn't you know it, at like an hour and a half later, a ring at my doorbell, and guess who it is? The FedEx guy with all my heavy boxes. And so they showed up the morning that I decreed they would show up. No matter what, they showed up. I got my manifestation exactly when I decided I was going to get it. And the key there is I never deviated from my story. I decided what was true right now, which is I'm getting my delivery on time, no matter what. And I stuck to it. And boom, it had to show up. So everything can work just like that for you if you will just persist in your new truth, which is what you want. So the way to really do this is practice. Practice manifesting something on a time crunch that you don't care so much about, so that you can see how it feels to really persist in that story. It can be so simple and it can happen so fast if you will just let it and get out of your own way and stick to your story. Stick to your new story. Persist, persist, persist. No matter what shows up in the 3D, it might seem like an obstacle. Something might come at you that is exactly contrary to what you want. It's exactly the opposite of what you want. Like with my package, it was going to come when I was going to be out of town. That was not going to work for me. So I decided, nope, that's not happening. That is not happening. I'm getting what I want. This is what's happening, and it's happening now, and it's true now because I decided it. Because why? We decide everything. We decide what everything means. Everything shows up through the filter of our perception and our assumptions about it. So decree it, and it will show up. I promise. Excuse me. Another time I had manifestation in a time crunch. I was going on a trip, an international trip, And I realized a little bit late that I needed to renew my passport. So I rushed to go do it. And when I was at the office, they said, you know, these are taking longer than usual. It usually takes 14 days, but you know, we'll try to rush it, but you're at least looking at 14 days. And the day that I had gone there, my trip was in 10 days. So again, there's another obstacle. That's not going to work for me. I need my passport before 14 days, right? And you know, I could have in that moment decided, oh my gosh, it's never going to show up in time. I'm not going to be able to go on my trip. I better cancel. But no, I stuck to my story. I decided I don't care what's happening right now. I don't care what this lady is telling me right now. I know what's true instead. And what's true is I'm getting my passport on time for my trip. In fact, I'm going to get it early. I'm going to get it early so that I don't have to stress about it anymore, and I can just enjoy getting ready for my trip. So I paid the fee to have it rushed, and I left the office. And I think maybe a few days later, I got confirmation that my rush request had been received. And then I got confirmation that my check had cashed for the fee. So, but then in that email, it also said, you can expect your new passport on this day, which was after I would need it. It was like, I don't know, 13 days maybe away from that time. And I needed it before then. So I decided that, so look, there's another obstacle. In that moment, I could have said, shoot, I'm not going to get my passport in time. I can't go on this trip. I could have accepted what I saw at face value as true, but I didn't. I persisted in my new story. I used it to my advantage, and I decided, okay, I know this says this, but actually this is what's true instead. Actually, I'm getting my passport and it's showing up early, and I'm going to be able to go on this trip, and I don't even have to worry about it because everything always works out for me. So that's what I did. I persisted in my new story, and I decided the fact that they cashed my check was a really good thing, and it actually meant that they were processing my request faster, and it was going to show up faster because they already took my money. So I persisted in my new story. I started packing for my trip and getting things ready and planning some adventures while I was out there. And that same day in the mail was my passport. So not only did it not show up 13, 14 days later, it showed up the exact day that I got the email saying it was going to show up 14 days later. So see how if you will just stick to your story, no matter what shows up in the 3D, no matter what, if you will stick to your story, you can manifest anything. So both of those cases for me were awesome examples of how to manifest when you need something right now, when you need it done today, when you need it not done right now, when you need it before a certain deadline, you know. So use those examples to help you and guide you, and just know that the key to all of this is always, what story are you telling yourself about your desire? If you are talking about, I want this thing by Thursday, and then the next thought is, but I can't, it's not going to happen because this, and this, whatever that but is, that's going to block your manifestation from showing up. So that's where affirmations really help to flip your story, to change it. So when you hear that little voice saying, yeah, but you can't have it. Yeah, but you can't have it because of this. Thank you. But actually, this is what's true instead. And start affirming, telling yourself your new affirmations for what you want, for what's true instead. And if you will just decree within yourself what is true instead, demand it, decide it, claim it, it will show up. It will show up because it has to, because that's the only way all this stuff works, right? So I hope this video helped you. It's really fun to test it out. So if you're already testing it out just in general, maybe throw a test in there on a time crunch too, because it's just going to strengthen your belief in your power as a creator and your power to create anything and everything you want in your life. So have fun with it. And oh my gosh, when you manifest things in a time crunch, please comment below this video, because we love reading those, and it's so awesome to see success stories, and it really helps everyone else on the channel. Maybe somebody else on the channel is struggling, trying to manifest exactly what you are, and they see you did it so fast, so they can, you know, it's motivation for them. If they can do it, I can do it, right? So that's my video for today. I hope it really helped you. If you are interested in one-on-one coaching, you can find links for that in the description box below. I would love to meet you and help you figure out what stories you're telling about any of your desires. And I think that's it for this one. So I will see you in the next one.